Hi guys, this is Tiffany and the Lights. You're welcome to my channel. I'm coming home, coming home. Tell the world I'm coming. This is the case of a friend of the bold mouse. Have you ever had a friend who just can't seem to stay out of trouble? You are a very peaceful person. You're law-abiding. You want to do your best to serve the Most High, right? And stay in the path of righteousness. But you have this one friend who is a really bad influence on you, right? They're very bold. They seem very, just full of life, and they're able to get away with everything. And a little part of you wants to be like them, but you know that you have a different standard, right? You're raised differently, maybe, or maybe you just don't have it in you to be that much of a bad butt, right? A bad butt, yeah. So you don't have it in you, right? But then one day, your friend goes and does something crazy, right? And you're like, man, how did you do that? You didn't stop to ask them if it made any sense, if they were able to, like, what they gained from that. You didn't try to tell them that what they were doing was wrong, right? It just all felt just so great because they would tell the most amazing stories, They come and they tell you about their little expeditions and into doing things, they're very brazen, so they have the best stories and things like that, right? And they always tell you about how they're able to get away with this and this and that and that. And so one day they start telling you about this place that they went to, right? And how they were able to evade the authorities, right? They were able to run right through the laser beams and escape the everything, and come out unscathed. And you're like, my God, what an exciting life. I'm living a boring life. I'm trying to do the right thing, to trust the Most High. And this person just keeps having such a good time. So you know what? I'm going to join them this one time. I'm going to see what's up, what it is that they're doing. They don't really have anything tangible now from all this stuff they're doing, right? Or maybe they're making a buck or two, And you said, just this one time. I'm struggling with my bills, I'm going through this. Let me see if I could just, do this just once, And plus I'm with my friend and she's courageous and she'll be able to get us both out of the trouble, right? So you follow this friend. Little do you know that on that thieving expedition, that the owner has laid a trap. A brand new trap. And while your friend has been able to evade those traps by the skin of her teeth or his teeth, you end up in the one that was freshly made. And because you're such a rookie, right? You don't even know how to glide through that trap. Your friend didn't teach you. They didn't give you a class, because you didn't care to ask, right? You didn't care to ask. You just thought that You had the same life as your friend, and you were just gonna come out and you guys would celebrate later and count your little change, right? Wrong. Wrong. Because once again, your friend evades authorities. But you, my dear, you have been caught up in those traps. And now your life is over. You guys, I'm gonna play you the video from early this morning. Oh my God, you guys. Oh my goodness. Y'all, look at this. Just look at this. But first, I literally just woke up right now with the fire alarm ringing for no reason. There was no type of anything to cause like smoke or anything of that cause, to make this thing go off, right? So the first round, I turned it off in my living room and in the bedroom. And then it happened again. I did it again. And prior to that, I was having a dream that there was just this random hand was just like, you know how like somebody's dancing with you and they have the hand in the back, and then the hand keeps getting stiffer and stiffer and stiffer. And I'm like, what in the world? So y'all, just to explain this dream a little more, it was like I was standing, right? And in my spirit, it felt like a woman's hand, right? It felt like a woman's hand. And it was just a hand, you guys. I didn't see a person. And it was wrapped around my back, but like I was facing like towards like, oh, not a wall, but like I knew I was facing forward, and I just felt the hand was like behind me, right? And but then I noticed the hand would be getting tighter, like it would get stiffer, but as it got stiffer, it was holding on to my back more, if that makes sense, like to my shoulder back. Like, how do I explain this? Dancing might not be a good example. It's more like, you know how like you and a friend are walking and they put their arm around you, like towards your shoulder. Yeah, that's how that describes it more, right? So as it got stiffer, I'm like, okay, like first of all, who are you? Why is your hand be around me? So then it got to the point where it was like squeezing me in, because it's like, yeah. So like as it got stiffer, it was squeezing me in. So I'm like, no, this is ridiculous. Like, because I knew right then and there that there was something off about it. So I grabbed the hand. I don't remember what hand. I may have used my left hand. So I spinned, sort of, grabbed the hand, and as I was turning to the other side, I literally yanked it, like I broke it, because it was like getting like stiff, like rigor mortis stiff. Yeah. So I yanked it and I broke it off, right? And as soon as I did that, I woke up to the alarm, the fire alarm ringing. Now, mind you, ever since I've moved into this apartment, I have never, ever, ever heard the fire alarm go off for any reason. All right? Even when I have had my candle, my incense or whatever I have going on, it just hasn't gone off. So, yeah, you can't tell me that that's normal, right? So the first time it went off, I, turned it off, because it went off on both rooms. Like as soon as it was done in the living room, it went off in the bedroom. So I went and I turned it off on both. And then as soon as I was done with that round, it started over again. And I did the same thing. right? So once I was done with that, I'm like, okay, that was weird. Now, if y'all can see that trap right there, that mouse did that. Like, nobody shoved it out of that fridge. Like, 'cause it was right under the fridge, right? As y'all have seen in other videos. Nobody did that, like pulled it all the way out like that, but the mouse or whatever it was, that was, right? So yeah, that was very weird. And for it to have had that type of trajectory, that goes to show you that there was a force, or that it was just coming with, like, it was trying to come off that trap so hard. Like, it just shows you that it was fighting really hard to get off that trap, right? This is literally unreal. And let me tell y'all something. I was praying yesterday because you know what happened after I told y'all that story? I came back for one day, but what happened was I went back and I got more traps. So as y'all can see, I did it in such a way that it covered every inch of there were no gaps. Like, I cut all, the gaps and everything. And the next thing I noticed was, like, right between the one over here. Right between the one over here, right? I noticed that it tried to come through the very tip right there. We see that dropping right there? Yeah. It tried to come through that very tip, and you see the tail? So it was like it was trying to come out. So it came out. And it was stuck, and again, it managed to wriggle itself out, right? And so I knew that it didn't go back out. It just came through. So I knew that it was still in the apartment, and I started praying. I was just like, okay. I was surprisingly relaxed. As much as it bothered me, I said, Abba Yah, you allowed me to tell this story, right? To the world. You allowed me, and you're not going to let my testimony to become a shame. And that's one thing about what the Lord says, is that we overcome him, Satan, by the blood of the Lamb and the word of our testimony. Because when you tell your testimony, it magnifies the name of Yah, and it also gives somebody else the strength to overcome. And so I said, Abba Yah, if that testimony wasn't for me to tell, you would have told me not to, or you would have caused it not to happen. And so because you didn't cause it to happen, right? I'm going to have the victory. And that is exactly what happened. And so, you guys, I just wanted to show y'all this. And that is the victory, and there will be more. So y'all, basically I noticed that the mouse that was caught had a different shape from the one that was that escaped some days before. At some point I had looked at the corner of my eye and I saw the other one, the one that had escaped, and it was like pacing around, like close to the trap, but it didn't want to come close. But yeah, guys, soon after that I tried my best to lay a trap for the bold mouse that started everything, but it was just too smart and has basically become a fugitive in the apartment because I have not seen it since then. And by since then, I mean yesterday. I don't know where it has disappeared off to. I know that it hasn't gone through the trap, which seems to suggest that there might be an opening in the house or in the apartment somewhere that I'm not aware of, and will probably need to be addressed. So I will keep you guys updated because now we have a wanted fugitive. This is a story that the Most High wanted me to tell. As crazy and as dumb as it may sound to some people, I believe that there is a lesson here that the Most High wanted me to share, and that that's what I'm doing. So I know that there has to be an update for y'all. For those of you who think this is just a mere coincidence, can you explain me waking up from a very bizarre dream into the sound of the fire alarms, right? And having to turn them off not once, but twice. And then just looking into the kitchen and seeing what I saw. No, that could not have possibly been a coincidence. But I am comforted in the fact that the Most High brought me to this apartment. Therefore, no weapon formed against me shall prosper. I know because as children of the Most High, no matter where we find ourselves, even if in the middle of hell, if you will, right? Or even the grave, if the Most High has instructed us to go there, then guess what? He will deliver us. And He will even cause us to thrive from that very thing that most people have perished in, right? So even if there's some type of altar in this apartment, or there is some kind of listening device, whatever it is, the power of the Most High will still triumph over it. And I will prosper right here in this place. Oh yes. So, you guys, I just want you to know that life is spiritual, alright? Don't let anybody deceive you. Don't let your crazy friends try to tell you any different. What happens in the spiritual is showcased in the physical. And that is why you must be spiritually alert and you must cleave to the Most High. Alright? And yes, this includes everybody, both those of the Hebrew ancestry and outside, because salvation is not just for one group of people, right? Because if it was, then our people would not have lost their rights and who they were because of their incessant disobedience. So yes, it is open to everybody. However, the curses and the blessings are unique to each group. And for those who have taken it by force, they will also partake of the curses that come with it. All right? Many have fallen in just one try, while others have continued for countless times until their day finally comes. Do you want to be that foolish friend? Do you want to be that friend who thinks that I can do what she can do or he can do? The decision is up to you. Because you see, none of us came to this world with the same fate, right? And some of us, the Most High judges more harshly because maybe, just maybe, that friend of yours doesn't know any better because you never bothered to tell him, right? You were busy watching them, secretly romanticizing their stories, right? So they didn't know any better. But you knew better, right? You were the one who sat in church and listened to the preacher, maybe in childhood or in adulthood, right? You were the one who was raised with the fear of the Most High. You were the one who has a conscience, who has that thing at the back of your mind that keeps telling you, no, don't do it. That's not right. And so what do you think the Most High would do with you if you choose to go do that very same thing that your friend is doing, right? That means that your judgment will be quicker and swifter than that of your friend. I pray that you make the right decisions from now henceforth, knowing that the Most High is with you. No matter how lonely it feels to be different, just know that you are indeed different. Revel, enjoy that fact about yourself. Don't despise it. You're different for a reason. You're a born leader, right? Lean into it. So rather than allowing your bad friends to influence you, right? Why not be the one to influence them, right? I mean, they're your friends. And either way, it's a win-win situation, right? You're learning how to be strong, because you see, the Most High actually doesn't like people who are pushovers, who are half-hearted, because he says, if you are lukewarm, I will spit you out of my mouth, right? And in many cases, he will give you an instruction and then allow somebody else to give you a different instruction just to see what you'll do. Some of these people might even be people of the cloth, right? People who are pastors, just like in the Bible with that prophet who ended up losing his life because another prophet came and told him something that the Most High explicitly warned him not to do, right? Another prophet came and he said, well, the Lord told me that it's okay. You don't have to listen to that. You can do what I said because the Lord told me. And guess who ended up losing his life? The prophet who was warned, right? So you guys, we need to be very careful in this life, because no matter what people try to show you, there are causes and effects, right? The end doesn't always justify the means, right? Because you see people seemingly scaling through life, everything seems blase. That is not always the truth, because again, we know that people will lie. They will present a truth to you that is far from reality. Many people are going through all sorts of spiritual attacks because of the decisions that they have made in life, right? But they would never show you that part of them. They would never show you the obligations that they have to keep to maintain what they have. They will never show you the sacrifices that they have to make, literal sacrifices, right? And that's where this whole quote unquote conspiracy theory about, even though it's really not, because it does happen in real life, where people are required to offer up things that they love, people that they love, in exchange for wealth. These things are real, So my question to you is, whose side are you on? Once again, I offer you the gift of the Most High, who is Yahweh, and his son, Yahweh Shah, who gave his life for us all, even when we didn't know who we were, we didn't even exist yet. He knew that Satan was coming to destroy us, and so he made up a way. As too simple, right? Or as ridiculous as it may sound to some people, that is the truth. You cannot make it through this life on your own. You need a power behind you. This is because we are living in a time where people are either getting or getting got, which means that the hunters are abundant and so are the preys. And that is where the choice comes in. So what are you going to do today? I suggest that you make the right decision and follow the Most High. All right? Thank y'all so much. I appreciate you for listening. And I would ask that if you were touched by this message, that you go ahead and like, share, and subscribe. Thank you all so much. And until next time, be blessed.
Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe.